Philippines, a mysterious archipelago hiding more than 7,000 islands in the embrace of the Pacific Ocean. What do we know about this enigmatic country, where ancient traditions intertwine with modernity in a remarkable dance of time? It is the only Christian country in all of Asia. Yet Christianity here has taken on distinctly unique features, merging with local beliefs into something inexplicable and captivating. Here, on these shores, the great navigator Ferdinand Magellan found his final resting place. But that is merely the tip of the iceberg of historical mysteries that these lands hold. Imagine, just a few hours from Manila, one of the most densely populated megacities on the planet, there exist untouched islands, where tribes live just as their ancestors did 500 years ago. How is this possible in the 21st century? Today, we will dive into the iceberg format, starting with well-known facts and gradually descending into the dark depths of knowledge, where the light of curiosity rarely penetrates the ordinary tourist's mind. What lies beneath the surface of the official history of the Philippines? What secrets do the ancient caves and lost temples of this remarkable country hold? Prepare for a journey that will change your perception of what is possible in our world. But this is only the beginning of our journey into the mysteries of the Philippine archipelago. Fact number 1. 7,000 enigmas scattered across azure waters. Amazingly, this archipelago consists of over 7,000 islands, strewn across the surface of the Pacific Ocean like precious gems fallen from the necklace of an ancient goddess. Yet only about 2,000 of them are inhabited by people. Consider this. 5,000 islands remain virtually untouched by human civilization, preserving their pristine secrets. From the bustling Luzon, with its multi-million Manila, to tiny, unnamed patches of land where no modern foot has ever stepped. Each island is a separate universe with its own laws, legends, and mysteries. The Philippines stretch over 1,800 kilometers from north to south, creating a remarkable diversity of climatic zones and ecosystems. Here, one can find lush tropical forests concealing the ancient ruins of unknown civilizations, active volcanoes whose slopes are covered in fertile soil, and coral reefs of incredible beauty that hide within their depths the sunken ships of conquistadors. Some islands are so isolated that local inhabitants speak languages that no one outside their small communities can understand. How could such linguistic diversity arise? Scholars count more than 170 languages and dialects in the Philippines, more than in many large continental countries. There is a theory that some of these languages may hold linguistic keys to long-lost civilizations of the Pacific region. But the most astonishing fact is that even in the age of globalization and the internet, hundreds of islands remain virtually unexplored. Local legends speak of lost cities in the jungles, of underwater caves with strange artifacts, of mysterious lights appearing over some uninhabited islands on moonless nights. What if these legends are not merely the figments of the islanders' imagination? What if one of these 5,000 uninhabited islands conceals the answer to one of humanity's greatest mysteries? But this is merely the first page in the book of the Philippine archipelago's secrets, and with each turned page, we are promised even more astonishing revelations. Fact 2. A Catholic island in a sea of Eastern beliefs. In the heart of Asia, a continent dominated by Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, and ancient Eastern philosophies, the Philippines stand out as a mysterious anomaly. Over 80% of the 110 million Filipinos profess Catholicism. Like a shard of Spain or Latin America, miraculously transported across the ocean and infused into the Asian cultural mosaic. But how did this remarkable cultural anomaly arise? 333 years. That is how long Spanish colonial rule lasted over the archipelago, beginning in 1565 with the arrival of Miguel López de Legazpi. This represents more than 3 centuries of cultural transformation that created a unique blend unparalleled in the world. Imagine, while neighboring countries evolved under the influence of Chinese, Indian, or Islamic civilizations, the Philippines absorbed Iberian culture, language, and religion. But the most intriguing aspect is that ancient animistic beliefs did not completely disappear. They merged with Catholic traditions, creating a whimsical syncretism. In mountain villages, one can witness shamans conducting healing rituals while holding Christian icons. Locals fervently pray to both the Virgin Mary and the ancient spirits of nature, known as Dios. Some anthropologists argue that Filipino Catholicism is merely a thin veneer under which lie much older beliefs and practices. But why did Christianity take such deep root here, while in neighboring countries, missionaries achieved far more modest results? There is a theory that the pre-colonial beliefs of the Philippines already included a concept of a supreme deity, Bathala, which facilitated the acceptance of a monotheistic religion. Other researchers point to the political fragmentation of the archipelago. Unlike the centralized states of Southeast Asia, the Philippines consisted of numerous small chiefdoms, making it easier to convert them to the new faith. Every year, millions of Filipinos participate in colorful religious festivals such as Sinulog in Cebu or Ati-Atihan in Kalibo, where Christian saints are honored with truly Asian expression and vibrancy. In remote provinces, rituals of self-flagellation and even voluntary crucifixion on Good Friday are still practiced. Phenomena that the official church does not endorse, yet demonstrate the depth of popular faith. But the most enigmatic question remains: how has this unique religious identity influenced the historical fate of the Philippines? What if it is this very cultural dichotomy, this position between East and West, that has made the Philippines a peculiar bridge between civilizations, a guardian of the mysteries of both worlds? Fact 3. Manila, a stone labyrinth where time flows simultaneously in 3 dimensions. If you think you've unraveled the mystery of Filipino religiosity, a new enigma arises before you. The capital of the archipelago, one of the most densely populated megacities on our planet. 24,000 people per square kilometre. This figure seems incredible, yet that is the population density in some areas of Manila. Imagine, if the entire Earth were populated at such density, it would host 3 trillion people. How is this possible? How do people exist in such close proximity to one another? But most astonishingly, Manila is not just an overcrowded Asian megacity. It is a palimpsest city where various eras layer upon one another, creating a unique temporal collage. At the heart of the city lies Intramuros, an ancient Spanish citadel surrounded by massive stone walls from the 16th century. It is the largest preserved Spanish colonial city in all of Asia, resembling a fragment of medieval Seville or Toledo transported across oceans and centuries. Within these ancient walls stands the majestic Manila Cathedral, repeatedly ravaged by earthquakes and wars, yet rising anew from the ruins each time, a metaphor for the indomitable spirit of this city. But step beyond the confines of Intramuros, and you find yourself in an entirely different dimension. Ultra-modern skyscrapers in the Makati business district soar into the sky, reflecting clouds and neighboring buildings in their mirrored facades. Here are the headquarters of international corporations, luxurious hotels, and shopping malls where goods from around the world can be found. And between these two extremes, colonial antiquity and futuristic present, lies a vast expanse of slums where millions live in makeshift shelters made of corrugated iron, plywood, and anything else they can find. In the Tondo district, entire communities inhabit a gigantic urban dump, eking out a living from what others have discarded. Some anthropologists argue that this extreme social stratification has created a unique cultural dynamic in Manila, a city where past, present, and future coexist simultaneously, where Spanish colonial traditions, 20th century American influences, and indigenous Filipino customs intertwine in a whimsical dance. But what if Manila is not just a chaotic megacity, but a living laboratory for the future of humanity? What if in this incredible melting pot of cultures, eras, and social strata, a new form of urban civilization is being born, one that will spread across the globe in the coming decades? And is not this remarkable ability of Filipinos to adapt to the most incredible conditions while maintaining their cheerfulness and optimism the key to humanity's survival in an age of global crises? Fact 4. The Underwater Gardens of Eden. Secrets of the Philippine depths hidden beneath the azure veil of the ocean. But behind the chaotic urban labyrinth of Manila lies an entirely different, almost surreal side of the Philippines. An archipelago blessed by nature so generously that many travelers describe it as the last remaining fragment of earthly paradise. Among the 7,100 islands of this remarkable country are those whose beauty seems unreal, almost mystical. Take the island of Boracay, a narrow strip of land just 7 kilometers long, but it is here that one of the world's most perfect beaches is found, according to many experts. White Beach in Boracay is not just a stretch of sand, it is 4 kilometers of dazzlingly white powder so fine and soft that it does not heat up even in the hottest midday sun. Where did this extraordinary sand come from? Local legends speak of a sea deity scattering crushed pearls here, but science offers a no less poetic explanation. It is the tiniest fragments of coral, ground by waves over thousands of years. Yet even more astonishing is Palawan. Stretching 450 kilometers from Mindoro to Borneo, this island regularly tops the lists of the most beautiful islands on the planet. Here lies the Puerto Princesa Underground River, a mysterious waterway flowing beneath layers of limestone caves adorned with stalactites and stalagmites, which in the dim light of lanterns resemble frozen stone guardians warding off ancient secrets. Some researchers claim that in the deepest and most inaccessible parts of this underground river system, rock paintings have been discovered, dating back over 10,000 years. Who created them? What were they trying to convey to future generations? These questions remain unanswered. But the true wonder of the Philippines is hidden beneath the surface of the surrounding waters. The Coral Triangle, the area where the Pacific Ocean, South China Sea, and Sulu Sea converge, contains the highest concentration of marine life on the planet. In the waters of the archipelago dwell over 2,000 species of fish and 500 species of coral, a biodiversity unmatched on Earth. Divers exploring the underwater landscapes of the Tubataha Reef often speak of a strange sense of déjà vu, as if they have seen these coral gardens before in some ancient memory or forgotten dream. What if these sensations are not merely flights of imagination? Some anthropologists hypothesize that the human brain may store archetypal images of the places where life originated, and the Philippine coral reefs, with their incredible variety of shapes and colors, awaken these ancient memories within us at a cellular level. However, there is also a more troubling aspect of this underwater paradise. It is disappearing. Rising ocean temperatures, water acidification, plastic pollution, these all threaten the unique marine ecosystem of the Philippines. Local fishermen speak of underwater ghost towns, once thriving coral reefs that have turned into lifeless limestone skeletons in just a few years. Is this a harbinger for the entire planet? And do the waters of the Philippines hold the key to saving the world's oceans, a key we have yet to recognize? Fact 5. Culinary mysteries of the archipelago, when East and West intertwine in a mystical dance of flavors. If the underwater depths of the Philippines hold the secrets of life's origins, then Philippine cuisine conceals an equally astonishing enigma. How did this island nation manage to create a culinary tradition in which Asian and Spanish influences intertwine so organically that they produce completely unique flavor combinations? Gastronomic scholars regard Philippine cuisine as one of the most mysterious in the world. 3.5 centuries of Spanish colonial rule, Chinese trading connections, Malay roots, and 20th century American influence have forged a culinary landscape unlike any other in Southeast Asia. Take the famous adobo, meat marinated in soy sauce, vinegar, garlic, and spices, then slowly stewed to an incredible tenderness. The name of this dish came with the Spanish conquistadors, yet the method of preserving meat in an acidic medium was known to Filipinos long before European contact. How did two entirely different culinary traditions arrive at nearly identical techniques? Is this an example of culinary convergence or evidence of ancient, long-forgotten contacts between civilizations? Even more mysterious is lechon, a whole roasted suckling pig, slowly turning over embers until its skin becomes a crispy, gleaming bronze crust. The cooking technique is almost identical to the Spanish method, but Filipinos add lemongrass, lime leaves, and other aromatic herbs to the cavity, creating a unique aroma that many gourmets describe as the taste of a paradise garden. Anthropologists note that the ritual preparation of a whole animal has deep symbolic roots in many cultures. It is not merely food, but an act of communion with divine forces. Do echoes of ancient pagan rituals persist in the modern Filipino lechon? And what about sisig, a dish made from pig's head and liver, seasoned with lemon juice, onions, and chili peppers? Born out of the necessity to use all parts of the animal, this dish has transformed into a true delicacy served in the finest restaurants of Manila. Some researchers believe that it is in such dishes, crafted from rejected parts, that the true culinary genius of the people manifests, the ability to turn the simple into the exquisite, the mundane into the festive. Finally, there is the enigmatic halo, a dessert that combines over a dozen components, from sweet beans and jelly to coconut strips, crushed ice, and purple yam. The name translates to mix, and it is indeed a chaotic blend of ingredients that, against all culinary laws, creates a harmonious flavor chord. Is halo not a metaphor for the Philippines themselves? a country where different cultures, languages, and traditions have blended into an astonishingly harmonious whole. And does this dessert not conceal ancient wisdom about the fact that true harmony is born from embracing diversity? Philippine cuisine remains one of the least explored in the world, despite its richness and variety. Perhaps within these flavors and aromas lie answers to questions about the migrations of peoples, cultural contacts, and ancient trade routes that historians have yet to decode. After all, culinary traditions often endure longer than languages, religions, and even genetic markers. What more can these remarkable dishes reveal to us about the past of the archipelago, and perhaps the future of global gastronomy? Fact 6. Ritual mysteries of the islands. When pagan spirits dance to the sounds of Christian hymns. Delving deeper into the mysteries of the Philippines, one cannot overlook a phenomenon that anthropologists refer to as cultural eclecticism of festive rituals. The remarkable ability of Filipinos to create multi-day, almost endless celebrations, where Christian rites and ancient animistic beliefs intertwine into a single mystical pattern. Take the legendary Sinulog Festival in Cebu City, for instance. 9 days of continuous prayers, processions, and dances in honor of the infant Jesus, Santo Niño. On the surface, this is a devout Catholic celebration, but look closer at the rhythmic movements of the dancers, their almost trance-like state, and the wave-like motions mimicking the flow of a river. Do not these gestures evoke ancient rituals of worshipping water spirits practiced on the archipelago long before Magellan's arrival? Some ethnographers argue that the very statuette of Santo Niño, gifted to Queen Humamay in 1521, has taken the place of an ancient fertility deity in the consciousness of the locals. How else can one explain that many Filipinos still believe in the miraculous power of the statuette to bring a bountiful harvest? Even more enigmatic is the Ati-Atihan festival on the island of Panay. Participants paint their faces and bodies black, don whimsical costumes, and dance in the streets to the thunderous rhythms of drums. Officially, this celebration honors the infant Jesus, but historians have discovered a striking resemblance to the ancient rituals of the Ati indigenous people, who held ceremonies long before Christianization to appease nature spirits. How did it happen that a Christian holiday retained such overt elements of pagan worship? And why did the Church, usually strict about the purity of its rites, allow such a blend? Perhaps this harbors a deep wisdom of early missionaries, who understood that true faith must speak the language of local traditions. Or does it reveal the astonishing ability of the Filipino spirit to assimilate foreign elements without losing its essence? Remarkably, some Filipino festivals can last up to 30 days, like the famous Pahayas in Quezon Province, an entire month of colorful processions during which homes are adorned with exquisite decorations made of rice paper, flowers, and agricultural products. Anthropologists note that such a duration of festivities has no equivalent in Western Christianity, yet resonates astonishingly with lunar cycles that formed the basis of the ancient Philippine calendar. Is this not evidence that beneath the thin veneer of Christian rites, the vibrant heart of ancient beliefs pulsates? And might this be the secret to the remarkable resilience of Filipino culture, which has survived colonization, wars, and globalization? Perhaps the essence of these vibrant carnivals, where the sacred and the secular, the ancient and the modern, the Eastern and the Western merge into a single stream, holds the key to the Philippines' greatest mystery, the ability to create harmony from opposites, to find unity in diversity. Yet, the more we study these extraordinary celebrations, the more questions arise. Is it merely a mixture of different traditions, or do we witness the manifestation of some deep archetype common to all cultures? And is this capacity for syncretism the key to understanding the future of global civilization in an era of global contacts and blends? Fact 7. The linguistic mosaic of the Philippines. How colonial past shaped a multilingual future. Immersing ourselves in the world of Philippine culture, one cannot help but notice the astonishing linguistic diversity that astounds with its richness. But what is it like to live in a world where languages and dialects intertwine, creating a true linguistic mosaic? Some reason how to fill this yet is it me with each and while but what fact A in the north these how is each this room yet some others how can local residents who still toil on their terraces pass down their knowledge and skills from generation to generation, but will this be enough to safeguard this heritage? It is vital to recognize that the rice terraces of Banaue are not merely agricultural lands, but a living testament to the interaction between humanity and nature over the centuries. How long can they withstand the test of time and the changes brought about by modernity? But this story does not end here. In exploring the rice terraces of Banaue, we encounter questions that transcend mere agriculture. How can one maintain their identity and culture amidst the rapid evolution of society? What steps can local communities take to protect their unique heritage? In every corner of the terraces, one can hear the whispers of ancestors who laboured on these slopes, and perhaps it is they who will guide us to the answers to these questions. Yet one thing remains clear. The mysteries locked within the rice terraces still await revelation, and their future depends on our ability to understand and appreciate the legacy they represent. Fact 9. The Volcanic Symphony of the Philippines, from Pinatubo to Taal. The Philippines is a country where the earth breathes fire and the sky is sometimes shrouded in clouds of ash. Home to more than 20 active volcanoes, each one conceals its own secrets tied to the history of humanity and the natural world. One of the most famous and dangerous volcanoes is Pinatubo, whose eruption in 1991 was the second most powerful of the 20th century. This catastrophic event altered not only the landscape of the surrounding area, but also the climate of the entire planet. How could such an occurrence take place? Pinatubo, which had been dormant for many years, suddenly awakened, spewing billions of tons of ash and smoke into the atmosphere. This eruption became a true test for the local inhabitants, who lost their homes and way of life in an instant. How did they cope with this disaster? Local tribes, such as the Eta, were forced to leave their lands and seek refuge, but their story was not forgotten. Once again, the mighty volcano made its presence known, reminding people that nature does not tolerate neglect. Yet, Pinatubo is far from the only volcano worth mentioning. In the south of the Philippines, in the heart of the picturesque Taal Lake, lies another volcano that harbours not only beauty but also deadly danger. The Taal volcano, situated on an island in the middle of the lake of the same name, resembles a picturesque painting, but its tranquility is deceptive. This volcano, one of the most active in the country, has erupted multiple times, leaving destruction and tragedy in its wake. How could people build their homes in such a perilous location? Despite the awareness of the threat, locals continue to live here, enjoying the beauty of nature while simultaneously acknowledging the risks they accept. Is there a way to coexist with such a powerful force as a volcano? Some researchers believe that it is here, on the shores of the lake, that the keys to understanding ancient civilizations that once inhabited these lands are hidden. Perhaps they knew something that we still cannot comprehend. Each eruption, each crack in the ground, whispers of the past, of what has happened and what may happen again. But how is this possible? How can nature be both so beautiful and so destructive? The volcanic activity of the Philippines is not merely a geographical phenomenon. It reflects ancient stories that continue to live in the hearts of people. Yet, do questions remain unanswered? How can we prepare for potential disasters? And what else does this mysterious archipelago conceal? The mysteries of the Philippines volcanoes await their revelation, and their future depends on our understanding and respect for the power of nature. Fact 10. Karaoke in the Philippines, My Way syndrome. In the Philippines, karaoke culture is not just entertainment, it is a ritual that brings people together, filling the streets with melodies and warming hearts. Yet beneath this vibrant facade lies one of the strangest and most troubling hidden stories worthy of exploration. In a country where life is full of melodies, there exists an unwritten rule. Do not kill a person for a bad rendition of a song. But how is this possible? Why has karaoke, which is supposed to bring joy, become a cause for violence? Attention is drawn to the song My Way by Frank Sinatra, which has become a true symbol of Filipino karaoke, yet it is better left unmentioned in some establishments. The story goes that incidents of violence have occurred in various karaoke bars across the country after this song was performed. People, as if entranced, lose control, leading to the emergence of the term My Way syndrome. How could one song provoke such a wave of aggression? Researchers suggest that the excitement and emotions evoked by the performance can act as a catalyst for conflicts, especially if someone performs this famous composition poorly. Consequently, some karaoke bars have even included disclaimers in their menus, where My Way is prohibited. Strange, isn't it? How can one song elicit such intense feelings and escalate passions to the point where people are ready to fight? Some report cases where performing this composition led to serious consequences, ranging from verbal disputes to physical violence. This creates an atmosphere of paradox. On one hand, karaoke is meant to unite people, while on the other, it becomes an arena for conflicts and confrontations. But what lies behind this peculiar phenomenon? Perhaps it reflects deep-seated emotions and unresolved conflicts that dwell in people's hearts. What meaning is hidden in these tragic events, and what do they reveal about the culture and psychology of Filipino society? Karaoke in the Philippines is not merely entertainment. It is a mirror that reflects not only joys, but also the shadows of human nature. Yet the question remains open. Perhaps such conflicts and strange traditions exist in many cultures, awaiting their exploration and understanding. How many more undiscovered mysteries does this enigmatic archipelago conceal? And what other stories can be told about Filipino karaoke? Fact 11. Extreme Easter. A true sacrifice or an expression of faith? In the Philippines, there exists one of the most shocking and paradoxical traditions that leaves many wondering about the limits of human faith. In the city of San Pedro Cutud, every Good Friday, thousands gather to witness a unique ritual, a real crucifixion. Yes, you heard that right. Volunteers, driven by deep religious devotion, allow themselves to be nailed to crosses with real nails in memory of Christ's suffering. But how has such a practice taken root in contemporary culture, despite the official disapproval of the Catholic Church? This indeed raises questions. The ritual begins with a procession, where participants, dressed in Roman attire, recreate the last days of Jesus Christ's life. They march through the streets carrying crosses, while the crowd fills the space with loud cries and prayers. At the moment the volunteers reach the crucifixion site, the atmosphere becomes charged to the limit. The nails used are real, and when they pierce the skin, it is not merely symbolic, but a physical pain that participants endure in hopes of obtaining forgiveness for their sins and healing. But how is it possible that people are willing to go to such extremes? Some believe this is a way to express their faith, to demonstrate devotion to God, while others view it as a dangerous blend of religious ritual and elements of a spectacle. This rite evokes not only admiration but also horror, raising questions about the boundaries of faith and how far people are willing to go for spiritual cleansing. Why has crucifixion become so popular? And what does it say about Filipino culture? Some researchers suggest that it may reflect the historical struggle of the Filipino people for their identity and faith, while others point to the social pressure experienced by the participants. However, despite all the discussions and debates, the ritual continues to exist, attracting thousands of spectators and participants who seek something greater than just a holiday. The question remains open. What are the true motives of those who undertake such acts of self-sacrifice? And how does this impact society as a whole? Perhaps such practices conceal deep layers of historical and cultural contexts that are yet to be explored. How many other similar traditions exist around the world, waiting for their time to be unveiled for understanding and reflection? Fact 12. Secret arenas. Bloody cockfights in the Philippines. In the Philippines, there exists another paradoxical and mysterious tradition that, despite legislative restrictions, continues to thrive in the depths of society. This underground industry of bloody cockfighting, known as sabong, remains an integral part of the culture and national passion, drawing the attention of both locals and tourists. Many wonder how such a tradition has managed to take root in society when its brutality and inhumanity spark numerous debates. At every turn, one can find arenas called galeras, where crowds gather eagerly to watch the battles between two mighty roosters. These combat birds, meticulously bred and trained, become true athletes ready to fight in the ring. Bets on such fights can sometimes reach astronomical sums. Some players have no doubt that this is not just entertainment, but an opportunity to change their lives. But how is this possible in a modern world where cruelty and violence are condemned? Some argue that it is an expression of ancient traditions rooted in the cultural heritage of the Filipino people, while others see it as a reflection of social inequality, where gambling becomes the only way to improve one's financial situation. Despite all the repression from authorities trying to control and limit this practice, sabong continues to exist, like a shadowy world intertwined with excitement, passion, and risk. Spectators at the arena bear witness not only to the fights, but to an entire ritual filled with shouts, bets, and tension. How has such a brutal tradition not only survived, but found its place in the hearts of people? Perhaps it is because for many Filipinos, Sabong is not just about fights. It is an opportunity to unite and feel part of something more significant. Nevertheless, the question of the morality and ethics of such fights remains open. What price are people willing to pay for their passions? And how does this reflect the societal values and traditions of the Philippines? How many more hidden aspects of this ancient practice remain out of sight, waiting for their moment to be uncovered and understood? Fact 13. The mysteries of psychic surgery, incredible healings in the Philippines. In the Philippines, there exists a unique and enigmatic healing ritual that many have heard of, yet few have witnessed in action. This practice, known as psychic surgery, attracts people from all around the world, eager to experience the miracles that, according to reports, Filipino healers, or hilots, are capable of performing. Imagine this. In a dimly lit room filled with the scents of exotic herbs and candles, a healer, dressed in modest attire, works intently, using only his bare hands. He employs no instruments, does not resort to anesthesia, yet claims to be able to extract tumors and diseased tissues without leaving a single scar. How is this possible? Scientific minds and representatives of Western medicine consider such actions to be mere trickery and sleight of hand. But millions of people who have undergone this experience assert otherwise. They share stories of how their health significantly improved after sessions with the highlights, as if a miracle truly occurred. Some researchers have even attempted to explain this phenomenon through the placebo effect or suggestion. But how then do we account for the numerous cases where individuals on the brink of life and death emerged from these sessions with a completely new sense of health and vitality? Locals believe that healers possess unique abilities that allow them to see and feel a person's aura, identifying the sources of illness and eliminating them through unimaginable methods. But the question arises, what lies behind these incredible healings? Perhaps it is something more than mere magic. Maybe it is a connection between mind and body that we have yet to fully understand. How is it that such a practice, which baffles scientists, has managed to take root in Filipino culture and continues to exist despite criticism? Perhaps it is a testament to ancient knowledge and skills lost in the modern world. Yet, undoubtedly, this is only part of the mystery, leaving the question open. How many more such secrets lie beneath the surface of our reality, waiting to be uncovered by researchers and adventurers? How many more people are ready to embark on a quest for healing and answers to their questions, hoping that in the Philippines they will find what modern medicine cannot provide? Fact 14. The mysterious tribes of the Philippines, the mystery of the Tassidae and their Stone Age. On the remote islands of the Philippines, far from civilization, there exist tribes that, like ghosts from a distant past, avoid contact with the outside world. One such enigmatic group is the Tassidae tribe, which was discovered only in 1971 on the island of Mindanao. Imagine this. Isolated in thick jungles, the Tassidae have lived under conditions reminiscent of the Stone Age, unaware of modern technologies or the global changes occurring beyond their world. Their daily life, culture, and even language retain the breath of antiquity, while humanity has moved far ahead. But how did they manage to remain unnoticed for so long? Scholars who have studied their way of life have encountered numerous questions and contradictions. Some assert that the Tassidae truly lived in complete isolation, while others suggest that they did have certain contacts with the outside world, leading to one of the largest anthropological debates. How can we explain the fact that, despite all efforts and research, the true level of their isolation remains unclear? Perhaps it is merely a myth created by the Tassidae themselves to preserve their way of life, or is it a genuine reality that the world chooses to ignore? Stories of how the Tassidae hunt, gather fruits, and build their homes fascinate and captivate. But behind them lies an even deeper mystery. What happens to their culture when they encounter the outside world? Researchers who have attempted to study the tribe have spoken of the difficulty in establishing contact with them, as they were wary and even aggressive towards strangers, which only fueled interest in their lives. But what lies behind this wariness? Perhaps it is the fear of losing their identity, their uniqueness in a world where everyone strives for progress and modernization. Yet, despite all the studies and attempts to understand this mysterious people, the truth remains elusive. How many more such tribes are hidden in the secluded corners of our planet, remaining silent witnesses to time? And how many stories of forgotten civilizations await their explorers, ready to venture into the unknown, to unveil the ancient secrets that live in the heart of the wild? Fact 15. The mystery of mummification, the Ifugao cult in the Philippines. On the sheer slopes of the northern Luzon Mountains, amidst clouds and mists, lies one of the most mystical secrets of the Philippines, the mummification cult of the Ifugao people. In these hard-to-reach locations, within the caves of Kabayan, ancient mummies have survived from the depths of the ages, bearing witness to unique rituals that have persisted to this day. Imagine, the locals, surrounded by majestic mountains and lush forests, employed intricate methods to preserve the bodies of their deceased, transforming them into sacred relics. The mummification process involves the application of herbal infusions and smoking, which not only preserves the physical shell but also, as they believe, the soul of the departed. Deceased chieftains are not simply buried in the ground, as is customary in most cultures. Rather, they are dried and placed in special locations where they continue to live among their descendants, safeguarding them and passing down wisdom from the past. But what lies behind this astonishing ritual? Some researchers suggest that the Ifugao view mummification as a way to maintain a connection with their ancestors, strengthening their culture and identity in a world that is leaning towards modern standards. Yet, how has such an unusual practice managed to endure through the centuries despite external influences? Perhaps it is merely a tribute to tradition, or does it conceal a profound philosophy that modern scholars cannot comprehend? It is remarkable how many questions arise when studying this phenomenal culture. Like the Tussiddae, the Ifugao live in relative isolation, allowing them to preserve their unique customs. However, their rituals are increasingly attracting the interest of researchers and tourists. But how do the Ifugao themselves respond to this attention? For them, mummification is not just a ritual, it is a sacred act that connects generations, and any outside interference can be perceived as a threat. How many more secrets does the Ifugao culture hold? And what is the future of these practices in light of globalization? Is there a risk that these unique rituals may disappear if they are not protected? The questions remain open, and each new day brings new mysteries, waiting for their explorers, ready to delve into the world of ancient traditions and customs. Who knows how many more such secrets are hidden within the depths of our planet, awaiting their moment to be unveiled? Diving into the world of the Philippines, we discover a country of contrasts, where tropical beaches and majestic Catholic churches coexist alongside mysterious traditions and rituals known to only a few. Getting to know this unique country is akin to exploring an iceberg. On the surface, we see only bright and familiar images, but beneath the water lie deep layers of astonishing stories and ancient secrets. How did it happen that this archipelago, consisting of more than 7,000 islands, has managed to preserve its identity and cultural heritage over the centuries? In every corner of the Philippines, one can find something extraordinary. Be it the remarkable mummification rituals of the Ifugao people or legends of lost civilizations that once thrived in these lands. These places beckon travelers who seek not just a beach getaway, but also the chance to immerse themselves in a unique culture where Eastern and Western traditions intertwine in the most unexpected ways. What are the origins of these traditions? What secrets lie hidden in the forgotten corners of this country? We have only just begun to lift the veil on the multifaceted nature of the Philippines and continue to ponder what other astonishing facts are waiting to be unveiled. Share in the comments what has surprised you the most, and which countries you would like to hear about in future episodes of our series, Icebergs. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new episodes about other exotic countries and their mysteries. Perhaps in the next videos, we will uncover even more secrets waiting for their moment to be revealed.